Welcome to MOT today. It's good to be here. Mick's about to hop on right now on the good old TikTok, and then we'll get this thing going. All right, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
All right.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man.
Homeboy that was on here the other day, I just noticed he's on another live stream right now.
I don't know who you're talking about. There's a lot of people that come on here.
Yeah. He was the one who was the second to last guy we talked to last time. He talked for a long, long time.
Okay.
He might hop on, maybe. No.
Look, I just need to find 11,000 votes. Oh, I think
that's what Mr. T was saying.
Yeah, we view him as a traitor in different ways. I'm very sure of that. Could you? I didn't realize how low my laptop is. Could you hand me my charger? Plug it in over there. What do you mean by works? Yeah, so it works over in China pretty well. I mean, China's economy is booming. They're growing at a fast rate. Their their purchasing power parity is pretty much equal with the dollar right now. Chinese communism works.
That could mean more that I think it means more that America is having a hard time. They're struggling more than it means that their particular government, maybe is better. Because there's a lot of things about China that seem really shitty to me.
Yeah, of course. We can say that about every country, though. I'm just saying that communism in China has factually worked. It has brought so much prosperity to their country.
I guess it's working.
Tanks in the street. Yeah, I know.
In your opinion, if you want to be like a slave to
China
and like follow their crazy ass rules, we have way more freedoms here. It's not.
So yeah, no,
you'd
like
really rather live in China.
I never once said that. I don't get why people assume that if you say something works, that you think you should be there. I'm just saying that it's.
Well, it's like you're like saying it's better than America. So
I never said it was better than America. I literally never said it was better than America. I said that it's.
Oh, okay, I get it. So you're saying it's working.
Yeah.
Like it's doing what it's supposed to, basically.
Yeah, it's doing the opposite of what people think communism would do. That's all. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Nice to see you again.
Likewise.
I just wanted to point out something that you had on your background there. Pretty good stuff. Make prawn illegal. Totally on board with that.
Yep.
Ban that particular type of education from schools. Pretty much on board with that. The only thing that I really just kind of gripe at these days is the blind spot that people have for the historical proclivity of communism subverting the definition of words. In this particular instance, fascism. Mm-hmm. So when I say that America is Marxist, particularly Marxist socialist, not fascist, it's based on the supposition that fascism used to mean people who were willing to fight and die for their nation, race, and heritage. That's it. Full stop, mic drop. That was just it. When they lost, just like socialism lost, the definition got changed so that the good guy became the bad guy, et cetera, so forth, so on. People were no longer willing to fight for their historical lineage and heritage and whatnot. Fighting for blood became a joke and a punchline. So I don't think America's fascist. I just think it's getting closer and closer to absolute communism.
Yeah, so what I would say to that, what I would say to that is I agree words do get subverted over time. This is true. However,
we literally just redefined recession.
Yeah, well, this happens all the time. So, I mean, it's a philosophical discussion that will take forever. I don't even know where I'd stand on it because I'm not a relativist, but words do change all the time throughout history. So it's very hard to like complain about it. Like Christian used to be a derogatory term. Now it's not. Anyway, so what I'm getting at here is fascism has always meant the same thing as far as its economic policy, and it is to be self-sufficient and to subsidize private companies through the government. And so by definition, the United States is promoting fascism over socialism because we have more government subsidies, and the culture overall is promoting self-sufficiency, which I have nothing wrong with self-sufficiency, but I do not agree with government subsidies. I think that the government should not be subsidizing. That is fascist. Literally, that is that is part of the definition of economic fascist policies.
Yeah. Well, here and I got some thoughts on it. First off, I want to say, tap the screen, y'all. Let's get these likes up, and also, I remember you from last time. You're working your truck job right now. You got like your pump stuck in the stuff in the truck right now. You were on last time. I worked Monday. I thought you were mowing your lawn last time or some shit. But so Mussolini. Mussolini. What is he? Isn't he the father of fascism?
I don't know that he's the father of fascism, but he is one of the pioneers for it. Yeah, he was
a big supporter of it, though, right? I mean, I don't know. He had a quote about it, and I don't know where.
Fascism existed long before World War II, man. It is old. Well, it is like.
Well, he was a big supporter of it. And I don't know the quote for quote, but maybe if you could look it up. Mussolini, what is fascism? And I think he had a quote that said something about like corporations. It's all about like the corporations and the government combining type shit.
Yeah.
And that's what America is. I mean.
I'll say this without tiptoeing too close to a politically incorrect talking point, but in my summation, if you exclude the economic policies, fascism is nothing less than a pull in case of emergency lever for when communism and Marxism get too out of control. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with totalitarianism. It has nothing to do with dictatorship. It has everything to do with people finally putting outside the BS and realizing what's truly important and worth fighting for. And if you notice, the powers that be at the moment only ever talk about three primary fears, which is white supremacy, fascism, and nationalism. Mm-hmm. There is a reason that they are afraid of these things, and there's a reason that it's constantly a talking point. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's it's just my opinion, of course. And what do I know? I'm just some crazy trucker. What do I know? But still, it's very upsetting that people keep conflating these definitions, further destroying the definition in real time.
Right. No, I definitely am.
Go ahead and finish your thought, Louise, and then I'll.
Yeah, I'm definitely sympathetic to what you're saying, but I do think fascism is on a more extreme side of things. I know that that's crazy hearing me say that, if you know me, and I also don't like. It is more of a dictatorship, which I don't have an issue with dictatorships, but most of the time dictatorships come about because of revolutions and coups. Sometimes they're elected in, but most of the time they're not. And also, I think that autocracies aren't that great. I think that they're a lot better than republics and democracies, which is also a part of fascism political ideology. But I think monarchy is better than autocracy. So, I mean, fascism has elements in it that are good, just like elements of socialism are good. But the United States, my point still stands that the United States is more of a fascist country than a socialist country, by definition.
Well, yeah, I would agree just because.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would agree just because, it seems like they care more about the corporations than the people, and like in socialism, they would like be more about the people or something. I don't know, but it seems like what's going on here is like. The people are starting to realize that it's not really a democracy and that they're trying to figure out exactly what it is. So that seems to be the real problem.
So one of my old college buddies, he sent me this video like forever ago, and I never forgot it to this day. In fact, I still have it backed up on one of my hard drives, but socialism comes in two flavors, left wing and right wing. And so the failure to understand that socialism as a blanket term is completely derogatory is because you are thinking of Marxist socialism. And Marxist socialism is exactly what we have now, prioritization of the state over the people. And big government bolstered by voting demographics in either a republic or a democracy, it just cements the issue completely. And
yeah, a lot of people are preaching the Marxism shit lately.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite. I think that we favor. I definitely think that we favor corporations over people.
Absolutely.
Which would be fascist.
If you look at some of the things that the old aristocrats were saying back before and slightly after World War I, there were a lot of them who were concerned that we would end up exactly where we are right now. The European powers took a look at what was happening to the political landscape for the monarchies and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, if we don't get our shit together, we're going to be out the door. And they were. After World War I, monarchies and were replaced by basically a bunch of republics that were essentially just, as bad as functional as we are now. But now the people are not ruling their nations. Companies are ruling nations.
Mm-hmm.
And, we all know what that is. But it's just a matter of understanding that if you're not willing to unite behind something more tangible than a national identity, your alliance will be fragile at best. And you can't unite just behind hatred, because that's going to be a candle in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just unite together because, we all hate this guy. I mean, look, they did that with Trump, and look
Yep.
how that happened. Now they're all regretting it. So, you have to be able to form common bonds with your fellow man and realize that you got to put all the BS aside. And that can't happen under what we are right now, which is a multicultural, egalitarian hellscape.
I agree with that statement
it's really
completely.
hard to do when the media is constantly trying to divide people.
Oh, and successfully too.
I mean, here we don't do that shit. Like, we let everybody on, everybody talks. You know what I'm saying?
No. There are certain people I will refuse to talk to.
You let people on, and if you don't like them, then you hit the button, and then
Exactly. I am against free speech. No free speech here.
We give people an opportunity, and we're open to at least hear some different views,
But as soon as you start talking demonic shit, you're out.
Oh, absolutely. And really, dude, that's what gets me, man. Like, every once in a while when I'm on TikTok, I'll see like a video of like, perfect example. Earlier today, I saw like a clip from the Rush Hour movie, and everyone's in there just enjoying the thing. Like, that's great. Yeah, he was on Epstein's roster, right? And like, just kill the vibe and leave. And you can just like, it's the TikTok equivalent of throwing a match behind you and listening to the explosion.
Right.
It's really fun to wake people up to the absolute crazy, just. I hate using that word, but demonic shit that's going on behind the curtains.
100%. Well, hey, man, we got somebody else that wants to hop in here. If you want to circle back in a little bit later, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that.
All right, man.
Circle back.
He's a good guy.
Screen, y'all. Let's get these likes up.
What's going on? All right. He was just in here. Don't know what happened. I mean, if he wants to come back in, send the invite. Nah, I canceled.
He'll be back.
Nah, he said he'll cancel. Okay.
And they shall come.
Well, that's okay. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with Ukraine, Mick. There's actually a lot going on with Ukraine.
Yeah, man. Nobody's talking about it. Do you want to start off? I mean, I don't know what you've done. I sent you that one video last night, and I've just been like kind of looking into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just go ahead and roll with it.
Yeah. So from what I was looking at, it seems that there's this plan that the West is trying to orchestrate with Ukraine to demilitarize this nuclear plant. And it would then cause like this freeze zone of warfare in Ukraine, which would
it's not just the U.S. though. Like even China, the United Nations, they're all trying to. Well, actually, they're not trying to make it. They're trying to tell the Russians to give it back to Ukraine.
Right.
They're trying to say like that they don't understand how to operate the machinery and shit. But that nuclear plant was actually built by the Soviet Union.
Yeah. So, yeah, which is so funny because a lot of this stuff is made by Russia. A lot of the country they do want to go back to Russia anyway. So, yeah, they want to make this frozen zone rather, And I heard an interesting opinion on that they want to bring in peacemakers from the UN. So that way they definitely get global support when it comes to the demilitarization zone. So if anything were to happen, it would cause major warfare. So it would be a huge, there would be huge consequences to pay if they were able to enforce this, and they attacked it still. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
I mean, maybe we should put it into perspective. Some people may not know what's going on. There's a nuclear power plant in Ukraine, and part of the part of Ukraine that Russia has taken over, and they have their soldiers at the nuclear power plant, and they're launching like rockets and shit into Western Ukraine from the power plant, knowing that Ukraine is not going to want to shoot, towards the nuclear power plant, right? Which they are anyway, and multiple times, I guess like over 10 times it was shelled or something. I don't know. Supposedly there's 6 reactors there. I heard that the power went out at one point, but it must have been restored because otherwise there would have been a big problem because I guess you got to have the power running the whole time anyway. So the UN and China and the US, they're all banding together trying to, get that to not blow up or whatever, or to melt down. And at the whole time, there's a mass exodus out of that region from all the civilians. Most of them are going into Ukraine, but some of them are actually going into Russia as well. And at the same time, Ukraine soldiers are leaving Odessa, which is basically the last chunk of land Ukraine has on the Black Sea, to move into that front, the eastern front where Russia has taken over. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like, I think that things are going to be heating up there, They're all moving into that area. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. My theory is I think Odessa is going to fall to the Russians. And then at that point, all those soldiers that moved east are going to be, like, surrounded. Ukraine will become a landlocked country at that point. And it'll be pretty much a wrap. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
those are just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I believe it's already a wrap. And I believe with this nuclear plant, it would prevent Russia from going any further into Ukraine. If they were able to,
What do you mean it would prevent them?
Well, it would,
you mean if it goes kabooey?
Well, no, it would prevent them from moving any further into Ukraine, I would say. If they were actually to demilitarize it and the UN were to do their thing in the Western powers.
I was thinking, what if it was used for some kind of false flag event?
Yeah, it could be.
What if like supposedly it blows up or whatever, and they try to say that like Russia used a weapon?
Right. Yeah, it could be.
What about did you hear about how Ukraine attacked Russia? Russia took over Crimea or annexed part of Ukraine a long time ago, called Crimea.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it was part of Ukraine. Yeah. And it was kind of like the same type of situation where the people, I think, wanted to leave Ukraine.
Yeah.
Anyway, they had an airstrip there, a military base, and it was attacked, and nobody really knows what happened. Russia denied it and was saying they think it was like a soldier smoking and it blew up or some bullshit, but nobody believes that. Multiple aircrafts were blown up. And I have a theory that it was the great power that did it.
The great power?
Which would be, us.
Ah, okay. Yeah, maybe. It wouldn't be surprising. Ren Snuff,
because
what
they
are
would
you...
have taken long-range weapons and, like, intelligence. Like, Ukraine doesn't have that shit. Like, they would have definitely needed help. And it would have taken long-range weapons because it was, like, into way out of their territory type shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I haven't looked into that event too much, but it's definitely plausible. Ren Snuff, I don't know what you're asking why to. Right. I don't know what you're asking why to. How does Chinese communism work? Well, are you asking, like, how does the mechanics of it work? Or are you asking how is it working in that it is helping the Chinese country? Shut down their plane. Probably, maybe. I don't know, though. I support them being killed. Whoa. Oh, you're talking about the IRS. Oh, yeah. Somebody commented in here. 87,000 IRS news agents and IRS buying up all the ammo. What do you think about that? Well, firstly, it's not just going to be in the
Yeah,
U.S.
a lot of the media is talking about that. I don't even think it's, this is like old news. I swear to God, this happened under Trump. Like, this is like old news. I heard about this shit a while ago. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe it was another alphabet one that did it before. Maybe it was like the Department of Homeland Security that did it last time. Now it's the IRS this time. Maybe there's just a bunch of surplus. Maybe it's so that there's a shortage of ammo so we can't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that it's mostly a fear tactic because the IRS is overseas as well. They're not just regulated to the United States from what I found out. What does the IRS need ammo for? And no, it is not now. I don't know what they need it for. I don't know all the things that the IRS does. Do you? They were trying to buy it under Trump, and he blocked it. There you go. That's what somebody just said.
Make sure you guys tap the screen.
Who is funding it? Who is funding the IRS? I mean, as far as I know, it's a private corporation located in Puerto Rico.
We are. What are you talking about? Who is funding it?
I don't know. I don't know.
People who fund all the Alphabet Corporation or whatever the hell acronyms.
Do we fund it though, or are there some other powers outside of us that fund it?
How in the hell are the likes going up that much when there's not even that many people in it? That's weird as hell.
Because you can tap the likes infinite amount of times. The IRS is coming.
Really?
Thank you.
Then keep tapping the screen. What are you guys doing?
The IRS is coming for 250 million of us. Yeah, that's not true. I don't think the IRS is coming for 250 million of us. That's insane. So it's our ammo. Yeah, but it's their money, right? So currently the IRS is funded almost entirely by annual appropriations. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know that we're adding like $200 billion to their budget. I'm not an expert on the IRS, guys, not claiming to be. I know that tax dollars fund it, but are there other agencies that fund it as well as our entities? They don't need 87,000 new agents to go after. That's the stupidest comment I've been hearing all along. You guys know that the IRS has been in a crisis for staffing shortages for multiple years. Do you know why there's been so many delayed refunds? Do you know why there's been so many issues and mistakes at the IRS? Because of not enough staffing.
Yeah.
So they do need more staffing.
Yeah, I think they actually really did need to. I think it was a good thing, actually, because they've been talking about this for a while, how they had problems with staffing.
Yeah, 100%. It's okay. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were.
Call the IRS, you know what I'm talking about.
Right. They aren't hiring data processors. You don't know all that they're hiring. I'm sure there are people in there that are going to take care of the collection side of things. Oof, I have.
I think that the whole IRS thing is just to because everybody fucking hates taxes, right?
Right.
So they don't understand that, you don't get mad at the IRS agents. Get mad at, change. I guess get angry at the people who are taxing you.
Right.
It's not the IRS agents, and if everyone's just gonna pay their taxes anyway, pretty much. I mean.
Yeah, I think it's mostly a scare tactic. Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with raising taxes, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, there's ways that you could.
It's like a distraction. Like every single one of these things, they're all distractions.
Right.
Like which one of these things up here isn't a distraction, other than the make these things illegal things? I guess those aren't distractions.
Right. So the IRS has been armed for a long time.
Is a traitor.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Just like we weren't going to get taxed, LOL, they are bleeding us dry. I don't know who's. Yeah, taxes are what they are, right? The money isn't even yours. The money is the government and the Federal Reserves. The money is debt. The U.S. dollar is debt.
Tap the screen if you don't think Trump is a traitor.
They are a little bit distracting.
How many people in here don't think Trump is a traitor?
I don't file anymore. Government is tyrannical. I won't
Maybe
fund
for free.
tyranny. Yeah, don't do what TikTok users doing. If that's what you're gonna do, you do your thing, I suppose, but don't do that. General rule of
You
thumb.
mean what, the shaking your booty thing?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You said don't do what TikTok users do. What does that mean?
Yeah, TikTok user bunch of numbers. What he said in the comments. He says he don't file his taxes anymore.
Oh, well, that's whack. Yeah, dude, just pay your taxes. That shit's lazy. I do agree that the tax code is whack. It should be way easier just to do it yourself. You should not have to, sometimes your shit's too complicated. You gotta, just take it to somebody, and it's way too much work. Like, the shit should be way easier.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like a scandal to where they make it so you have to have an account. Like, it creates employment. Their red tape and legislation creates employment.
Yeah, I agree with that. They have to raise taxes to balance the budget. There's no balancing the budget,
A
man.
lot of people don't think Trump's a traitor because the likes just shot up like 400.
Yeah, well, Trump is a traitor. He betrayed his own people on January 6th. And now he's getting them riled up to give him a bunch of money. Don't be fooled. He's letting a lot of innocent
He's
people.
Give us a bunch of money.
Right.
I haven't heard about this. What do you mean he's going to give us a bunch of money?
What are you talking about?
Trump says he's going to give everybody a bunch of money? I never heard about this.
I said he's been raising a bunch of money. He's been fundraising a bunch of money.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said he's going to he's going to try and give everyone a bunch of money.
No. I said he wouldn't pardon anybody, and he's getting a bunch of money from the people.
I would say he's a traitor just because, he, the way he dealt with his presidency, he didn't do things the right way, and,
I don't know about that. I think that.
Well, what are you talking about? I thought your main beef with him was because the way he handled his presidency.
The only thing that I disagreed with him on his presidency was the way he handled the cough and sniffles in Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so not his entire presidency.
That was a huge thing.
That part, yes. And then finding out all the stuff about Epstein that added on to it. But he was definitely the best.
The weird shit too. Yeah.
He's definitely the best president we've had in years. You like Trump? I voted for Trump in 2016.
That would just make you a creep. You'd just be a creep with the Epstein shit. But because he was the president and he did all that other dumb shit, that could make him, a traitor.
Yeah. Well, I think he's mostly. I think he's.
If we were talking about Joey B, I bet that this would be way more controversial for TikTok.
Maybe. Just a creep. Yeah, he's a creep. He's a scumbag. I mean, once again, he betrayed his people on January 6th. He betrayed them. Fly straight and true. Don't know what that is. They were minors. Yeah.
Why you keep saying the thing about J6? I've never heard this from you. What do you mean?
Why didn't he pardon the people that are now being persecuted? He didn't protect his own people that were supporting him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Why didn't he do that? Yeah. Why didn't he do that?
I think you were talking about this on one of your day streams, and I slightly caught the drift. I didn't hear the whole spiel from you about it.
What do you mean he betrayed his people? He didn't pardon them.
Because he was still the president,
Yeah, he didn't pardon them. That was
but at the same time, they weren't all identified. It seems like a lot of the stuff.
No, he could have just did a blanket pardon. He could have pardoned them because we knew who was in there. He could have pardoned them.
Well, they didn't know everybody. A lot of those people got arrested months after.
Yeah, well, I think that there's something he could have done. He probably, I think that you can do something along those lines.
I'm not sure.
LOL, throw the books at all of them. Yeah, Trump traded on him. He was a traitor. That's why I'm saying Trump is a traitor.
Yeah, well, Joey B's the real one because, he could do the same thing right now and he's not. So smash the tap the screen if you think Joey B's the real traitor.
Trump sent a bunch of money to foreign entities as well. That's a silly comment to make. January 6th was mostly peaceful.
Wipe his butt. The dude's out there.
So, LOL, throw the books at him. Those people
Joey B
shouldn't be
can fix these
pardoned.
problems.
Right? Secret Service kidnapped Trump on January 6th. I don't buy that at all. The United States should stop funds and any kind of support for Ukraine. I agree with that. So, yeah, that's what I mean by Trump is a traitor. January 6th shouldn't have happened. It was risking our security. I think that it was inorganic, but we'll leave it as that. There were a lot of provocateurs, and Trump should have defended his people, and he didn't. Those are the same people who all went to that event that would be fundraising for him right now because he got raided by the FBI, which now we see that Marjorie Taylor Greene is filing articles of impeachment against Merrick Garland. How if he is in charge of Secret Service, takes him where he doesn't want to go, that's kidnapping. Do you truly believe what that crazy woman said during the testimony? Do you realize there's a bulletproof glass between him and the Secret Service in that limousine? There's no way. He forced them to turn the steering wheel to go somewhere else. That's total nonsense. Anyone making life-changing decisions because of Trump should be put away anyway. Those are bold statements, but I get where you're coming from. I think those people had good intentions. But
make sure you guys tap the screen.
Yeah. So how has
Marjorie
Biden?
Taylor Greene, that whole thing. Does anybody really think that's going to do anything? Like, who thinks that this is actually going to do anything?
It might. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. She's supporting defunding the FBI now too. How has Biden helped move us out of a recession? Good question. I don't think he has. The raid was illegal.
Louise, I've been thinking about the whole FBI thing a lot, and I'm a man who believes in less government. I believe that the state should have more rights. I think the federal government being so involved is kind of what has caused a lot of these problems. I know that you think that the FBI has done a lot of good things or whatever. I think a lot of that has been staged. And also there's evidence, the thing that happened with the mayor in Detroit, that was all staged pretty much by the FBI, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of evidence that points that potentially the FBI is worse, does more harm than good. I mean, they just make shit up.
Yeah,
the
that's
states could easily enforce the laws. Why do we need federal police? The states could do their own thing.
Yeah, well, the FBI helps a lot with breaking up cartels, helps with breaking up nationwide drug rings, pedo rings, sex trafficking rings.
But
they definitely
do. We really need the federal police?
What would you replace them with?
Why not let the states have? Why not just let the states have their rights to? Because when you get these sticky situations where, like, what if the state disagrees with the federal government, then the federal police have more power than the states and shit like that. Like, I mean, it all comes down to if you believe in state rights more than the federal government.
I don't think the size of government really matters. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know that I don't even know that you can have a cohesive nation if you have state rights. The more I think about it, I don't know. I think that's part of the problem with America, arguably. Maybe do away with states and just have one government. I don't know. Or break up the nation into multiple pieces.
Well, every country has like providences and shit like that, don't they? So it's just interesting.
I don't know about every country. And even if they do have different providences, they're still under the same federal government.
Yeah, I think maybe in America the states have more rights than maybe all the other countries. I'm not really sure, but I think maybe that has. I think I understand what you're getting at. Maybe that does have something to do with it. Like the states have more power, as would they, providences or regions would in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
And so it creates like more divisiveness.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know that I'm opposed to big governments. I don't know that I'm opposed to the federal government taking over everything. So get rid of FEMA, no federal money to states. Yeah. Not just white libs hate Trump. Yeah.
Well, Well, you get rid of. How about you get rid of the states shouldn't have to give the money then? Like if you're gonna say like the federal get rid of FEMA, well then the states are gonna be like, well then we're just not gonna give you the money anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where they get all their money from. The federal government isn't even like a real thing. The states are actually real states. The federal government is just like some kind of shadow that hangs over them, that just collects the money and like makes rules and shit.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing well. Yourself?
Pretty good.
Doing good. Cool.
So I think Nancy Pelosi's doing good for America.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Because, man,
Why? Because he's slowly dying?
Hold on. She's done everything in her political career to help the American people.
I think you're trolling us.
Oh, God.
What's one good thing she did?
She raised taxes
Okay, yeah, you're definitely trolling.
for the billionaires, man. Everybody's got to pay their fair share.
Yeah, that's the new thing with the new bill they just passed. They're instead of raising the taxes on the wealthy, let's just lower the taxes on the middle class and the poor. Why instead of trying to equal it out by raising the taxes on the rich, why don't they just lower the taxes on the poor and the middle class? It's because they have a spending problem.
I think Joe Biden's doing fantastic with inflation. He's spending enough money to keep our country in balance.
All right, so we got somebody in the chat here, Torres, who used to be Hey Buddy. He gets it. He knows what's going on with the FBI. Seriously. The FBI is in place for checks and balances. The FBI is needed. Torres knows that. Anyway, yeah
that's true.
Well, the federal government isn't even a real thing. Like, seriously, like the states
It is
are actual
a real thing.
Physical plots of land. The states are actual physical plots of land, and the federal government is just like a shadow that hangs over everything and is like, I'm in control.
Well, that's where
it
the
just doesn't even make sense.
For like two reasons. Because of what happened on January 6th, I would say Trump is a traitor for that reason. He attacked the Capitol. That makes him a traitor.
I think I saw a picture of him out there with an umbrella. He looked like a penguin.
I saw it on CNN.
yeah, I
me
think
too.
that
I saw it. Shout out to
I think
I
that
don't know.
Trump is a
one of those
traitor.
CNN anchors.
I think that Trump is a traitor too for January 6th, but not for the same reason in which you state. I think he's a traitor because he did not pardon the people. He did not pardon his people. That's why he's a traitor.
Yeah, he set up his own followers.
That's
His own
great.
cult got arrested.
Yeah, that's why I think he's a traitor.
Yeah, his own
Tap the
Trump
screen,
cult
y'all.
got arrested at the Capitol.
Yeah.
They shot and killed that lady for no reason.
I don't,
That
dude.
lady
No,
she
she didn't.
wasn't even armed.
I think that was fake as fuck.
I can't even.
Well, so if it was real, then it was for no reason.
Yeah.
Good.
But if
That was the only person that actually got killed from violence.
I think CNN would have reported on it if it was real.
This dude's a major
CNN is
troll.
real news.
Mick, I think that this guy thinks that we're like
Dude,
Democrat
obviously
supporters.
trolling. I think he's.
I'm not trolling. I'm a real left-wing liberal.
Right on, man.
Dude, come on. We all know you're conservative and you're trolling, bro.
And because you think that you're doing.
Libtard liberal.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing this because you thought that we actually like are libtards, but the more you're talking to us,
I'm
you're.
liberal. I'm serious.
Just like the Mexican dude the other day. Last time we were on here, there was a
Right.
Mexican dude acting like he was a libtard too.
Yeah.
Is that the new thing?
Well, yeah. Liberal.
I really do think I'm a liberal, to be honest with you. I think that the liberals are giving liberalism a bad rep.
Well, I think liberals are cool. I just think gas prices should go to $300 a gallon. I think that would be good. I'm serious.
Yeah, man. Conservative or liberal, Trump is a traitor.
I mean, if you walk by, if you walk by,
I actually think that would be cool because if gas prices go to $300 a gallon, we're definitely going back to horse and buggy.
Well, yeah, but you'll see people fighting at the gas station. That's what'll be cool about it.
Yeah, until they get a horse, and then they won't worry about it.
All right. See you, man. So, yeah, you said
was
that you
interesting.
said that you think you're a liberal, that you would identify as a liberal.
I always, that the place we, used to work at a long time ago, they would always call me a liberal or whatever, and I wasn't a liberal. I believe in liberty. Like, I believe in, freedom and shit. And there was a lot of things I just didn't agree with. I never really agreed with Trump and shit. You know that. And I've always thought of myself as somebody who believes in liberty and freedom. And that's why I hated when they would call these people liberals. And then so then they were identifying me as a liberal just because I was against Trump. And it's no, I believe in liberty. And I think the word liberal has been it has been not cast into the right framing. It's not the word. What they call liberals now is not what real liberals are. Because liberals now don't even believe in freedom and shit. Liberty, liberal. If you're a liberal, you should believe in freedom. That's what I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, I view liberal as the definition of it, the exact definition of it, and I am anything but that.
What's the exact definition?
Well, to accept, so basically liberal is to be accepting of individualism. So you can, basically have the freedom of your own opinion and be accepted in the society for that.
Oh, so I don't know. I mean, I believe in the
so right here
type shit.
willing.
I know recently, I think you've been kind of more against that.
Yeah. Well, I am. I'm.
You've changed a little bit in your mindset, I think.
A little bit. So liberal
At one
is.
point, I think you were more freedom loving.
Yeah. This idea of freedom is nonsense. You're always going to be a slave to something. Willing to respect or accept other behavior or opinions different from one's own, open to new ideas. Well, yes, I think most people accept that, but that's not the political philosophy in which we see today. It is more so this is relating to or denoting a political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, and free enterprise. I don't believe in democracy. Individual rights, civil liberties, what does that exactly mean?
What do you mean, if you got a plot of land and you're there sitting there with your family, your individual rights are that, nobody treads onto your land and messes with your family, man. Those are your individual rights. That's what I believe in. I think that's freedom. Right?
Yeah.
The freedom to live peacefully without somebody fucking with you.
Yeah. So I go,
Those are God-given rights.
I go, with individual rights because I'm explaining it. I do.
So you think it's okay for somebody?
Are you going to let me finish, dude? Are you going to let me finish? Are you going to let me finish? Are you even going to let me get words out?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, are there some things that are important, such as what you're talking about, property rights? Yeah. But I don't know, how far you go with individual rights. That's why I go, I'm a little torn because I think property rights are important, but I think overall what's more important is the community than the individual. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I agree. I think the collective is more important than just one person. I totally agree with you.
How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Yeah, likewise.
You ready for more jokes?
For more jokes? What do you mean? Sure. I got one for you. Worst beating I ever got. I was in Japan, and I was in Hiroshima, and I was at a karaoke bar. They ripped me off the stage, took me around back, and beat the shit out of me, and kicked me out of the country.
I guess I Dropped a Bomb on You wasn't the best song choice.
Probably not. Probably not. So what's going
Sounds
on,
like a
man?
Good time.
So what are we discussing tonight? I've caught a little bit of it.
Well, those are the topics on the back.
Oh, up there.
Yep.
Okay. Ukraine update. UK government take.
Do you actually believe
Yes,
Trump
Merrick
is a
Garland should
traitor?
be impeached. Yes.
Yes, I do believe Trump is a
I
traitor.
think it's a combination of fascist and turning more fascist than socialist. I don't think either one of those has a majority. So I haven't decided if Trump's a traitor yet. If he gets charged and he's found guilty, then I will say it.
Oh, I'm
But
talking
not gonna
about
say
Trump being a traitor because he didn't pardon his supporters on January 6th. Not because of anything going on right now. I think that's all just theater and show.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have pardoned him. I mean, so Chinese communism works for them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Marry before sex, yes, I believe that. Make porn legal, yeah, why not? I mean, if we can have gay sex, why can't we have porn legal?
Let's watch our language. We're going to get banned if you use such explicit language.
Really? That was explicit?
Yeah,
I think
well,
it's only if you say negative things about it.
well, let's not
So
just
if you
let's
say
not
good things about it.
let's not say it at
Okay,
all.
I'm sorry. I'll try to
Yeah.
watch myself.
But we agree with you. Well, I agree with you.
So ban sex from school.
I agree with you as well.
Yeah. So I agree with a lot of those. So, like the last time you were on here, I didn't disagree with anything you had up there. So.
Do you think Biden is a traitor? Yeah.
What the hell are you doing here? We need people who disagree with us. Damn it.
I haven't been able to go into any live things. So.
I'm just messing with you, man.
I know. But no, I wasn't alive today where they were just trying to tell me that Trump was a traitor and that he'd go into prison because of all the evidence they got against him during this raid. And I'm like, what evidence? The raid was 2 days ago.
Well, he is, man. He is. And we need you to go get him out of there after he goes there.
So, but yeah, I mean, when you win a conversation with a liberal, right? Because they have to attack you and try to insult you. So,
Right.
Yeah.
But more people to come. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think
Too
that
many of them, I don't think.
I don't think they're going to find anything on Trump. I think it's just all theater. I think there's a good chance Trump orchestrated the event himself to raise money and marketing.
Well, see, this
How in the hell would he do that, though? I was thinking about that, Louise. Like, how the hell do you orchestrate that? Like, what did he do? Call the cops on himself, or he had somebody else do it?
He
Like,
could. I
explain
mean,
how that series of events would have.
I mean, he could, right?
Hold it.
Because people get swatted all the time. I told you about swatting. Rando can accuse you of doing
but,
something
I mean,
at your.
he's dealing with
So
the
once
FBI.
again,
Like, don't they
so
have,
yeah, so
and he's also the
so
former president.
so
there'd be a lot of-
so people, randos, can literally get the SWAT team to come to your house by falsely accusing. They literally can. And so
okay. So
it would be possible that somebody like Trump, who's as well connected as Trump, who has a network that Trump does, to be able to pull a stunt like that off for publicity.
I got a call. Can I make a comment to Torres?
Yeah.
In the chat. Torres, he had a meeting with people from the DOJ at I keep wanting to say Key Largo. I know it's not Key Largo. But all they told him, they saw the documents. He had them in a cabinet. They told him, you need to lock that cabinet, and they left. Okay, now they go back and they get these same documents and try to say that they're classified when they were declassified when he left office, and they reclassified them after he left. So if they're classified, it's because this was a setup.
And when they say nuclear
got something
documents,
to say.
nuclear documents are very vague as well, because literally it can be a letter writing.
Right.
He can be writing a letter to somebody saying, I had this I had a dream that we were under nuclear attack. That could literally be the nuclear document that they're referring to.
Yeah. Or it could be, I guess what I'm saying. So, like, you were comparing this whole thing to, like, people getting swatted. And I do agree that, yes, there are people who could have intelligence or whatever on him that are close to him that could have planned this out or whatever. But I feel like there's a difference between somebody getting swatted, like you're saying, this random person is doing this, and the police go there, to where, like, if someone random tried to call and say, Donald J. Trump is trying to do this.
So obviously,
I think they would look at that in a different light, and they'd think, there's probably a lot of people done shit like that to him, because he's, who he is.
Yeah. So obviously it's different than swatting. And there's obviously different ways that people have to go about to attempt swatting too, because it doesn't always work. But what I'm saying is that he definitely has the influence and the network to orchestrate an event like this. He definitely does. It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah.
I
agree that it's possible. He did raise a whole bunch of money too, so I mean it's possible. But it's like, I don't know. I have a feeling that I think they really are going to. I think he's really gonna not maybe go to prison, but at least get disqualified. They're going to try to disqualify him from the presidency to create more chaos. I think they're going to do that to create more chaos. Well, I don't think he's going to be running.
This is one of the questions I've been asking every liberal that's been coming on here saying, Trump is going to prison. I said, okay, so what if nothing comes from this raid? Will you get on here and apologize saying you were wrong? Because I can tell you, and this is what I'm telling them, I can tell you this. If Donald Trump is arrested, if he is charged, if he is convicted in a court of law and goes to prison, I will say he deserves to go to prison. But not one liberal will say they are sorry for putting him through this if it's found out that he's not guilty.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there are liberals who would concede to that point. You get on TikTok and it's a den of degenerates. So good luck by getting anybody on TikTok to say that.
I think that Trump getting disqualified from running for the presidency is going to be what triggers the end of America.
I don't think so.
I think that's going to trigger the.
If he's found not guilty, they have given him a golden path back to the presidency.
No, well, if it goes the other way, I mean, I think that that's really going to be what causes the schism.
Yep.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you guys think?
I agree.
I don't know.
There's a lot of people who, I mean, a lot of people say it's like a cult. He's like a cult leader. Like, there's a lot of people who really, really support him. I mean,
he is definitely the quote unquote God of our age. I don't mean that he's an actual God, but he is the person that everybody, glorifies and tries to sanctify as well, or they hate him. One of the two. So he has a lot of energy acquired from the people, from the brains of the Western world, to souls as well. But I don't think that it's going to cause a civil war. I don't think it's going to be the spark of it.
It'll just put a divide in this country that'll never heal.
Well, the divide's already there. I think it's just going to make it deeper. But I don't know what'll happen. I mean, who knows? He might try to run as governor in some state and then lead a state to secession. I don't know.
Well, see what could possibly happen. And I was listening. I can't remember who I was listening to, but a guest came on one of the radio shows I listened to, and they're like, if he's found innocent or not guilty, whatever, however they find him, and let's say he doesn't run for president this term, but he becomes the vice president of one of the running for vice president for one of the people that run for president, and they get elected in. If that person steps down or dies, he becomes president, and then he is able to run again, so he could actually serve 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I'm not a
Because the
constitutional
vice
lawyer.
president automatically becomes president if anything happens to the president. And because he was not elected, he was put into the position because the president died or stepped down. He was not elected. He could only be elected twice.
Maybe. It really depends on how they're going to define it. If they determine he can't run for presidency, I'm pretty sure they're going to put some,
Right. This
restrictions
all
on
goes
loopholes.
if he's not guilty.
So, well, I mean, even if he is found guilty, I'm pretty sure that they would find a way to prevent him from circumventing the election process and becoming the vice president. And then also,
Right.
who's going to want to have him as their vice president?
Right.
I mean, what does it matter anyway? Like, there's a meteor hurtling towards Earth right now, and we're all in extreme peril. Like, have you guys heard about the meteor?
Yeah, it's supposed to hit in like 50,000 years or something like that.
No, I'm talking about there's one that's supposed to be passing by. The media acts like there's a meteor that's going to be passing by, supposedly, and the headlines will say that it's going to be passing by. It's hazardous, but then they're like, it's like 1,000,000+ miles away. Like it's going to pass by 1,000,000 miles. It's like 5 times farther away than the moon and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called like M15 or some shit, like 2015. Some weird shit.
Yeah. Well, hey, T-Man, we got somebody else that wants to come in. Thank you very much for coming on, man. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
What up, G?
Why is Trump a traitor? What happened?
Well, he did not pardon his people on January 6th. That's
yeah,
why.
he messed up big time. Now we're dependent on Joey B to do it.
And he also didn't pardon himself before he left office. If he would have done that, he would not be in this situation. So he screwed up in a lot of ways.
Tap the screen, y'all.
Oh, okay.
Tap,
So he
tap,
didn't really do anything wrong.
I mean, I don't think that he's a
he
good
did
guy,
well.
but I don't think that there's any validity to what's going on right now. I think there's a good chance that he may have orchestrated the whole thing on his own to get fundraising and marketing. But who knows? It could be wrong. The chances of it aren't very high.
I think you're right.
All right, so let's talk.
I think what happened is he purposely wanted him to raid him so he could look better.
Yeah, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. He's getting a lot of money right now and attention.
He's the only person in the world who could get rated to look better, other than maybe a couple of social media influencers.
Fact.
Well, because we all know that they're not going to find anything.
He's getting back to his roots.
What did they find?
Entertainment.
Did they find anything?
No, they found a bunch of boxes with things in it. They haven't released the affidavit, which the affidavit, I guess, has
Hell no.
the documents, but they don't.
Oh, I know what they're going to find in those boxes. It's probably cheeseburgers, some sodas.
Right.
He saw the meme.
You told me about the meme yesterday, I think.
No, I mean, I said something about it like a week ago.
Maybe.
Maybe it was on Tuesday.
Maybe. I think it was on Tuesday. Who knows?
Oh, well, thank you for coming back. Thank you for the support. Tap the screen, y'all. Tap the screen if you think Trump isn't a traitor.
Of course.
Or if you think he is. Just tap the screen.
Have you guys debated anyone yet?
Not
You're the
really.
only
We've just
person
been having
we've had on here yet.
conversations, which
Does
is
anyone
fine.
debate, like any lefties?
We've just been having conversations.
No, but we had one dude act like he was a lefty.
Oh, and then he realized he's not.
It was just a troll.
I mean, I'll be honest. The left is falling apart.
So is the right. The Republicans are
Yeah.
insane. They want to defund the FBI now. Insane.
But
We cannot let America fall apart. Tap the
America.
screen if you don't want America to fall apart. America, come on, people.
Like the people that are pro-choice, they
No
realize
taps,
that the
that's
left
crazy.
doesn't line up with their ideas. So they kind of just, I don't know. They realize they can't take any guns away.
Yeah. So any other thing that you want to talk about on here?
No.
They ain't gonna take my gat. Tell you that
Think about
right now.
here, guys. But
All right, man. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for the support, bro.
You have a good night
Of
too.
course.
So let's see. But yeah, what else have we not really talked about here? I mean, I guess we can just talk a little bit about marriage before or sex before marriage. That shouldn't be a thing. Making corn illegal, of course, it should be illegal. It's a It's a weapon of war, and ban sex education from schools because why do you want a stranger teaching your children about that?
I agree with you about that. That they should not be teaching that in school. But at the same time, like, I'm not. Well, I guess you must just be a patriot, and this is why you're so concerned about it. Because I know that you are against public schooling in the first place. So you're just concerned with this because you're caring about your community and everybody else, like your nation.
Well, I think it's just grooming to even put that into schools. So yeah.
But do you think that people who are homeschooling should even be concerned with what's going on in public schools?
Yeah.
You removed yourself from the situation. Why are you so worried about the situation?
Well, the people that you're going to interact with in society will be participating mostly in those public school institutions. So if you can make the public schools better, even if you're not going to participate in them, it's a good thing for the society overall.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, I'm totally against the whole, education, that bad form of education. There's nothing good that comes from it, really. And they combine it with the drugs, too, if you've noticed. It's like they teach you about the drugs and the sex at the same time.
Yeah. And then you're listening to rock and roll.
Or rap.
Well, it was, sex.
Gangster rap.
I was saying sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. I'm not against rock and roll or rap, by the way. I love music,
Yeah, me too. Although I've been finding it's very hard to listen to music with kids. So,
Yeah, dude. I know all about. I don't listen to. Dude, you know what I listen to with my kids? For a while, I was doing just classical music.
Yeah.
All just straight classical music, and then I integrated Bob Marley. My kids really like
Bob Marley's bass, dude. I like Bob Marley.
Yeah, they seem to jam to that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't listen to nothing crazy with crazy lyrics and stuff. But lately, I've been doing this kids. Her name is Lori Berkner. It's just a kids music. She does. There's this one where it's let's go swimming, and they're fish and all this shit.
Nice.
But it's nothing bad.
Yeah.
Having kids will change your life.
It will.
Tap the screen if you have kids and you think kids are amazing.
Ukraine is wasting my tax money. Yeah, they are. The U.S. government's wasting
your government is. Your government is wasting your tax money on Ukraine.
Yeah. This is true. This is very, very true.
But it's all right because they would just waste it on something else anyway, right? And it's not even going to Ukraine. It's just going to the Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, a couple other corporations.
Right, because they're giving them military
stock,
supplies.
Shit's been going ham. The stock market has been going ham lately. It's been crazy.
Yeah, man.
I've been doing really well. I got pot stocks. I got a whole bunch of gold stock. That's my worst investment. Hex has been going fucking smash ham. They're like 80. They're up like 80% last month, or the last 3 months. The last month, I think they're up 80%. Hex, like crypto's been going up a lot. It's been interesting how the stock market has been going ham. You know, they just said that interest was only the interest, or not interest, but fucking inflation was at 8.1%, and the stock market has been going ham since then. It's like, that's not good. It went down a smidgen, but like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Shit's all rigged, bro.
Yeah, man. There's a
You're
lot
right
of
about Hex, though, man. I really do think I'm like, the more I think about it, like, even though I still believe in diversification for real. Like, is my number one thing, because I'm like nervous about wallets and stuff. I need to talk to you about that too.
Yeah.
Wallets.
Yeah. I mean, it's smart to have more than one wallet, especially if you have significant amount
Like,
of money.
I'm worried that MetaMask is going to get hacked. Like, I've heard of some wallets getting
it doesn't matter
hacked.
if it. Yeah, MetaMask is different. MetaMask is just the interface. It is not the wallet itself. The only way your wallet can get hacked is if you have your seed phrase loaded to your phone on the cloud, if you have somebody stealing your seed phrase, if you, that's really it, man. So like MetaMask getting hacked doesn't matter because they don't control your wallet. They're just the interface. Like,
now, is there a way you can move? Is there a way you can move your shit from MetaMask to a hard drive or something, like just move it away from that? But then,
well, no, because MetaMask
create
is
a new wallet.
Well, no. What's your wallet is your seed phrase. So you can add an extra layer if you wanted to by getting like a hardware wallet and connecting the hardware wallet to your MetaMask wallet. And then you have a 2-layer.
Okay, so but it would still be connected to MetaMask. So you
yes,
can
but
never
it doesn't
take it off the internet and just put it on.
It doesn't matter that it's on MetaMask. You have the private keys. MetaMask is just the interface. It literally doesn't matter. Somebody else can break their own
I was just wondering, is there a way? I'm just wondering if there's a way to like actually take it off the internet and just put it on a hard drive.
Yeah, you can have a hardware wallet. That's a hardware wallet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, if you don't have your MetaMask,
can you keep it on both? Is there a way that you
yeah,
can
that's
keep
what
it
I
on
just
the
said.
hardware wallet and then like have a backup on the internet?
Well, that's what I just said. You can connect your MetaMask to a hardware wallet, and you could also just have your seed phrase. You can delete all the apps off of your computer, have no data on your computer about your hardware wallets, and just have your MetaMask wallet. I mean, just have your seed phrase. If you just have your seed phrase on a piece of paper or metal, however you want to store it, it's off the internet. That's called a cold wallet.
So I could just delete my MetaMask right now?
I would, yeah. I would not.
As long as I have the seed phrase, I could always access it?
Yeah, I would never keep your MetaMask wallet on your phone unless it's just like a throwaway account where it's like, I only go on this one to, just to browse MetaMask if I want to get something just to play with. But otherwise, I would never keep your MetaMask on anything. I would just keep it away until you need to access it.
And then what? You would download MetaMask then?
Yeah, if you needed it, yeah.
Like if you wanted to access, just download the app real quick on whatever device. And
yep.
Interesting.
That's what I do.
That's why I think it'd be cool to have it on hardware.
You would still need an app for the hardware.
Case, like maybe that.
Well, you would still. I have a hardware wallet, so there's still an app. You have to connect it to Bluetooth.
So you would still have to be dependent on MetaMask to be up and functioning.
No.
Like, what are the chances that MetaMask would be down though?
Well, once again, it doesn't matter because MetaMask is just the interface. Somebody else can create a new interface for your wallet. It doesn't matter. It is just the way that you access it, but it is not your wallet.
I heard Richard Hart was saying during his last interview, I think it was with Kitco, that he was trying to create a new thing to replace MetaMask.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks that he can do everything better in crypto, and I think that he can. But he's also said numerous times.
Country, he said on that Kitco.
He's also said that.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't. But he's also said regarding MetaMask that MetaMask is doing just fine, in that replacing the wallet is like the least of his priority. But yes, he has talked about buying a country as well too. I've heard of that. I don't know that I'd join his country, because the more I see his social views, the more I disagree with him. But I think he's a cool dude, but he's very socially liberal, and I strongly disagree with that.
Well, he doesn't. Well, here's the thing, Louis. Are you saying that because he doesn't have a family and stuff like that?
No, I'm saying that because
like he should be the age.
Well, that has something to do with it. He's openly promiscuous. He is all for women being in sex work. He is all for GAY rights, which is everything that I'm not for at all. So socially, I'm against him, very much so. Economically, I think regardless, I think he's a brilliant man. I think he's made excellent products. And economically, I've learned so much from him. But as far as life advice, I don't know that
been going ham.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really take much life advice from him. I mean, he's written self-help books. I've read some of his self-help stuff. It's okay. It's different, but he's not my role model. That's for sure. But he's a smart dude. So, doesn't some bank own MetaMask? I don't know that, but even if they did, it really doesn't matter, because the wallets are all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there has to be, I bet there has to be somewhere where it's pinned to, because it's a company. I don't know, man. I'm just, his questions do concern me. That's all I'm saying. Like,
what are his questions?
I heard some news stories recently where there were some companies, Solana and all these.
Yes, but that's different.
There's
Solana.
There's been a lot of shit going on in the crypto communities, and it's just like, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's good to be concerned as far as that goes, because you should be on your toes. Solana's trash. It's down all the time. There was a huge wallet hack in Solana. A lot of people were affected by it. But yeah, MetaMask is, from my understanding, it's way different. And I mean, they'd have to get access to everybody's private keys, but Solana isn't decentralized to begin with. Solana was very centralized. So Solana's a different case in point. But yeah, it's prudent to, want to be very cautious with your crypto. But the only people that have had issues with MetaMask are those that have given their seed phrase to somebody else, or they've been SIM swapped. Otherwise, I don't know anybody that's been hacked. Like, personally, I don't know anybody that's been hacked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody either, except a guy we used to know named Malcolm.
Well, he didn't get hacked. He just sent it. He didn't get hacked.
He just gave his information away.
No, he didn't even give his information away. He sent money to the wrong address.
Oh, shit.
So that's what happened with him. He just sent money to the wrong address. And there's nothing that you can do to get that back. Host is.
So what do you think? Do you think Heck's going to go up more, or do you think it's going to go down? Like, what's your theory on the crypto world? Because I know you're big into crypto, man, way more than me. I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really hard to predict. I'm just riding the wave.
You just don't even worry about it.
Not really.
You don't
Not
even
really
think
at
about
all.
it.
What was that?
You're a bigger crypto guy than me, and you just don't even care. You're just like, I'm doing my thing. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. That's
Yeah, I mean, there's no need. Like, I'm not going to withdraw any of my money. So what's the point of like, oh my God, it went up? Unless it's life-changing money, I don't care. And right now, it's far from it. So
I mean, I know you think about it though, right? Like, so I mean,
not
do
really.
you think it's gonna?
Not these
What
days.
do you-
Like, I haven't. Like, it's the least of my priorities right now. I'm very grateful for being into crypto because it's put us in a financial situation right now where, you know, we can buy 2 cars, but we're, you know, still trying to find a car right now. But, you know, so I'm grateful for my moves in crypto because, you know, we have, you know, we're very well taken care of in that regard. But I don't look at my hex every day. I don't look at stocks every day. I don't look at crypto every day. I probably won't, in all honesty, until the bull market happens, or until Pulse Chain comes out. Those will be the only 2 things that would probably bring me back into it, like I was before, as far as paying attention to prices and stuff. But I don't really pay attention to prices, man. I'm just going to hold for multiple years. So what's going on right now really doesn't matter compared to where I'm going to be at in 5 to 10 years. You know.
No, I don't have any hex staked right now. My shit's all liquid still.
Nice.
So, I guess, you know, I have an interesting strategy on that I've been thinking about, and I'll talk to you about that later. But
yeah, it's good to think about the strategy.
Yeah.
Because I should have thought about I should have waited to stake until I had a better strategy put together. You know, like if I could have timed the market right, it would have been really, really cool to sell at the very top and then start staking after I sold the very top.
Get back it. If you could have got back, if you would have sold at the top at like 59 cents or whatever, what is that? And then got in just under 3 cents like I did.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would have been
Dude, you'd be king shit. You'd have a TikTok.
Yeah, dude. That'd be nuts if I would have did that. But I had everything staked at that point when we were up at 56 cents, I think was the all-time high. And I mean, it was cool. I did really well, but had I had it liquid and then I could restake it, man. But it doesn't matter. I don't even think about that shit. I just know.
So is it better to stake when it's a higher price or a lower price, or does it all matter about the gas fees at that time?
Well, I guess all of it really factors in, right? But if you're going to stake for 15 years, then obviously it's better to stake today than it is 5 months from now. I don't know. Maybe not, but at that point,
what are you talking about the time? Like, is it better to stake when it's a lower price or a higher price? Like, what are the different factors when you're staking? Like, is it the gas prices? Is it the price of the hex itself?
Yeah, I mean, it could be all of those things. It really just depends on what your preference is and how long you're going to stake. So, I mean, if you're going to stay in,
we'll do the 15 for 15. Like,
I don't know, man. I mean, it's really up to you. I don't think it really matters at that point where it's at. I mean, obviously, if you get in at lower gas prices, that would be ideal. But if you're going to stake for 15 years, that's a 15-year commitment.
Well, here's my thing. I'm just wondering, like, does it matter what the price of the hex is when you stake it? Like, how does that affect the yield?
Well, no. I mean, it doesn't affect
like if it's a higher price
it
or a
doesn't.
lower price.
It doesn't affect the APY at all. The only thing that affects the APY are the number of stakers. The more stakers, the less APY you get yearly. It doesn't matter what the price is. So you can say that the higher the price, the more people there will be staking because there's going to be more buying demand because the price keeps going up. So would you get higher APY during the price increasing? Maybe, but maybe not. There's a good chance not because there's going to be more people buying it. And then you're going to get a higher APY maybe when people are selling it. But this is why I say it depends on how long you're going to stake, because if you're going to stake for 15 years, you're going to ride through so many of these cycles, it doesn't even matter. Just stake it for 15 years and forget about it. I have a bunch of 15-year stakes, which is why I don't really think about it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I guess if you're staking for 15 years, then who gives a fuck?
Right.
You know?
Even 5
Yeah.
years. Even if it's
Yeah,
5 years, bro.
Dude, I feel like I'm super stingy. Like, I try to, like, pinch like no other, man. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm super pinchy when it comes to things sometimes.
I get it. I get
I
it.
always try to catch the bottom. I always try to get the best deal.
Yeah, I get it, man. Like, right now with our situation with the car, I'm trying to find a really good family car and then also a good working car for me.
The Focus was a bust.
Oh, dude.
It was a shit. It was a piece of shit.
Dude, $2,000 they wanted for it. It had 70,000 miles, a 2000 Ford Focus. She told me over the phone it only needed brakes and tires. It's like, cool. If it needs brakes and tires, then I'm going to be spending about $600 just to do it for myself. And that would bring me, so I was like, all right, so I would pay $1,000 for that, which would bring me to $1,600 in total for the car. I get there, and a lot of people, if you're interested in looking at used cars, do this always. Run your hands across the tires of the car. Be careful if they're bald because you might get stabbed. But run your hands across the tires of the car. Do you feel any cupping? Do you feel the uneven tread wear? If you feel uneven tread wear or cupping, you know that there's suspension problems. Obviously, if you can lift the car up in the air and shake it, you get a better feel for it. But you can't normally. Anyway, so that's what I did. And every single tire had balding more so on the inside. But the tires were all bald all around. So I was like, all right, it definitely has some suspension issues. I turned the car on. It starts kind of rough.
Or it's possible. I mean, it could have been she just never rotated them her entire life.
It could be that too.
You know?
It could be that. But it definitely did have suspension problems when I took it on the road. But we'll get there. So I turned on the car, turned on kind of rough. I decided just to go through the gears to see how it felt. It like slammed in reverse. It like clunked and slammed a little bit. So that's not good. And I put it in drive. It did just fine.
I like a clunk and a slam once in a while.
Right. I turned on the AC. The AC worked kind of. And then I turned off the car. And I couldn't get the key out of the ignition. The key was stuck in the ignition. And so I then popped the hood. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm definitely not paying $1,000 for this car at this point. But I'm like, I'm gonna keep checking it out because I will pay like $500 for this car and I'd fix it up. And because it has 70,000 miles on it, man. So I'm like, if I can get this thing running right,
Yeah.
it'll last a long ass time. Anyway, so I then popped the hood. I noticed that there's either somebody just put oil in it or there's oil leaks in the front of the hood. So I'm like, okay. I checked the transmission fluid. It looks fine. It looks full. Somebody could have just put transmission fluid in. And I checked the oil. The oil looked fine. It looked relatively new. So I'm assuming they just put oil in it. Anyway, I then, after checking that shit out, I go underneath the car. So I like get down on my belly and I look underneath it. And what do I find? Huge oil leak from what I think is the transmission. So I'm like, all right, cool. Got a huge transmission leak. That explains what happened when I put it in reverse. Okay, cool. And so I was like, all right, well, the car is almost empty. Car was on E, by the way, gas light on. Like, okay. And so I was like, you think it's going to be okay to just take a little drive around the block? He's like, yeah, let's get in. It's cool. I get in, and dude, I thought the thing had no brakes because the pedal went all the way to the floor before it stopped. I was like, holy shit, this is not cool. And, and as I'm driving, I hear the clunking noise on the suspension. I'm like, all right, so there's suspension problems, transmission problems. The key doesn't come out of the ignition. Tires are the shit. Brakes are the shit. Like, I'm probably going to have to get new calipers. I'm probably going to have to get new brake lines. Like, holy crap. So we get to the house, and I tell the dude everything I noticed. I'm like, I know you guys are asking $2,000 for it. I'm going to be spending about $600-$700 just on if it only needs front brakes. If it only needs front brakes and 4 tires, I'm going to be spending about $700. If it needs all 4 brakes, I'm looking at about $1,000 in just that. That doesn't even include the fact that there's an oil leak underneath the car. And I was like, and I don't know if anybody put oil in the car recently, but there is oil leaking, or somebody just spilt the oil that they tried to put in the car earlier. I don't know. And I then said, well, after I told him that, he was like, yeah, my mom said that she could take off a couple $100. And I was like, dude, I will give you $500 for it right now, the way it is, because I'm going to put $2,000 into it getting to run right. And the guy he didn't even look at me. He just said, hell no, turn around, didn't even say goodbye, didn't even acknowledge my existence at that point, and went inside. I was like, all right. So that's how that went. It was really crappy. I was like, man, you guys are not, anybody that's really going to check this car out, you're not getting $2,000 out of it. You're not getting $1,500 out of it. It's a $2,200.
They're trying to polish a turd.
They didn't even try.
You ain't gonna polish a turd with me, boy.
Right. So I was like, whatever, man. Like, not that big of a deal. But I was like, you don't even want to try to negotiate, which I found very interesting. I don't know if I took the wrong approach by telling them, yo, I found this, and this wrong with your car. I don't know if that helped my case out at all, but whatever.
Excuse me.
So, and then I'm hoping Monday I'm going to be checking out this Toyota Sienna. It's a 2006. They only want $5 for it. And, right. They only want $5 for it. And it only has like 100,000 miles on it. So that's pretty good.
That's what's up.
So that's what's going on with the car
man.
search.
You'll get it.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We have to get one. There's no choice. So we're carless until we do get one.
Yeah.
So I've been borrowing my in-laws' cars.
Well, is anybody out there? Tap the screen. Show us some love. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. This is about it for tonight. I'm going to pass out. So, all right. Much love. Subscribe everything. MOT Media, MOT Sports, MOT News, MOT Today 1, everything. Check us out. Much love. Peace.